This is the all-new 2025 Chevy Colorado Z71, and we're gonna see if it's actually any good, because honestly, the Colorado's reputation hasn't really been the best as of recent. I mean, they did refresh this as early as 2023, but I'm really curious to see if the 2025 Colorado is actually worth it. Now, a lot of people, including myself, kind of just assume that the Colorado wasn't powerful. And that's not really the case, because this thing has a 2.7 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, pushing 310 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque. And the max tow capacity of the Colorado is 7,700 pounds, which is actually fairly decent for a mid-sized truck like this one. I mean, definitely not what I expected. Unfortunately, there's not quite any frunk space, so that'll be enough for the front. Now, in the back of the Colorado, we actually have around 5 feet of space, which isn't the most, because there are trucks that have quite a lot more space, but pretty nice back here, honestly. And in the bed of the truck, we of course also have the 120 volt outlet. And when we unlatch this little lever and this little lever over here, we have free cooler space in the truck tailgate. That's actually kind of nice. And you also get a nice little ruler along the entire tailgate, so if you want to measure anything really quick, well, your Colorado has you covered. Now I'm gonna come right out and say this truck is worth $54,000 brand new with all the options included on this thing, which I will say is very steep for a mid-sized truck. However, you do get quite a decent amount of value out of that 54 grand. Like back here, we have a full 40-inch light bar that came straight from the factory with an auxiliary option. You've got this really nice snowdrift metallic paint, which I have to say looks really nice. I didn't expect to like a light blue color, but this color looks so sick. As well as a blacked out appearance package, so you have the blacked out Colorado logo, as well as a blacked out Chevy logo, and blacked out 18-inch aluminum wheels. It kind of gives this truck more of an off-roady vibe outside of this, you know, like little step stool bar, which kind of gets in the way of getting into, you know, rocks and stuff. But other than that, this thing's a beast. Now, if you want to go one trim higher, there is the ZR2, which is more of the off-road Baja trim. But if you want to kind of stay below that $55,000 range brand new, then I guess this is the one to get. Now that we're done with the outside of the Colorado, let's check out the inside, because it's not too bad in here, at least if you get the right options. Now, when we first step into the Colorado, we're greeted with a fully leather-wrapped steering wheel, of course, as well as 2 displays for the dash. And just like every other GM vehicle that I've reviewed, these displays are really nice. I mean, they're fairly responsive. I haven't had any issues with them at all. Right under our display, we have our full suite of climate controls, and I will say it is a little weird to see a full-on calculator display on the temperature dial. Like, this will actually break if I press it hard enough. It's really weird to see, and definitely not durable if I'm gonna take this off-road and, you know, kind of twist this thing around without looking. And down here we have a wireless charger for your phone, as well as a USB-C port and a USB-A port. Now, this truck is equipped with a technology package, so you have access to the 360-degree cameras, which is really, really nice, and I don't think I could live without it after using it for the last week or so. You also get quite a few different driving modes for the Z71 trim. So you get the normal mode, you get the off-road mode, you get the tow and haul mode, you get the terrain mode, and then on the ZR2 trim, you get a Baja mode. Now, unfortunately, again, this is the ZR1 trim, so you don't get any of the diff lock settings right here, but you do get a really nice 4-wheel drive system, and I will say I tested this system extensively throughout the last week, and it works really, really well. And I do have to say this gauge cluster is really, really convenient to have, because you can also change it to have your maps. If you don't want to have it on your center display, you can have it on your gauge cluster instead, so you don't have to worry about looking to the side while you're driving. And you have quite the amount of options. Like, you can have an off-road mode that shows your pitch and roll of the actual truck itself, as well as your standard styled gauge cluster with the cruise control info in the middle, or literally just your current speed with no tachometer at all. Like, if I rev this truck, nothing. Now, I will say the overall interior quality of this truck is okay at best. I mean, it's not the best I've ever seen, of course, but for a $55,000 truck, I would expect a little better. Like, for example, we have this really cheap looking piano black plastic in the center console, as well as on the dash, which really just looks terrible after it gets dirty. The door panel itself is just very cheaply made. I mean, with this OEM Bose sound system, it actually rattles the entire door whenever you turn the bass up, which isn't great. Thankfully, you at least have heated and ventilated seats, but I will say again, these seats just don't feel comfortable on long road trips, so keep that in mind if you're planning on buying this to, like, do long hauls in. It's also worth mentioning that this truck, even with the technology package, does not have Super Cruise, as well as a digital mirror, so you're stuck with the standard mirror if you don't want to get an aftermarket one. Now, I know despite however much you're going to spend on this thing, it is still a Colorado at the end of the day, so I shouldn't really expect these creature comforts to really exist, but it's still something to keep in mind. Getting into the back of the Colorado is definitely a chore, but it's doable. Like for reference, I'm 5'9", and that's my current seating position, and this is where I'm sitting. It's a little tight, I will say. Thankfully, back here, you do have your own ventilation, as well as a USB-C port and a USB-A port. You do actually get a lot of headroom with the Colorado. I mean, this is kind of caved out for your head specifically, so it's not the worst experience ever. You've also got a set of cup holders right here, as well as cup holders right here, as well as a single cup holder in each door. So I will say Chevy giving you 6 cup holders total for the rear seat passengers is a little insane, but it's better more than none. It's also probably worth mentioning that this entire rear bench can actually get lifted up for more secret storage space down here. It's kind of a nice little nook to put things like tools and such, so that way they're not rolling around in the cabin. Another small gripe about this truck is that the lighting is all controlled through the touchscreen, so you have to press this lighting button to even get to your auto or your high beams or really anything, and it's kind of annoying. However, I will say the amount of people I've seen drive without headlights on and just their daytime running lights on at night, it might be for the best that this is a hidden menu with auto enabled by default. And so that's been the 2025 Chevy Colorado Z71. The final verdict is this: if you're looking to get a mid-sized truck, stay away from this if you're even thinking about getting a used truck, because you can definitely get a used truck that's more capable than this truck will ever be in its life for a lot cheaper. If you're strictly only looking to buy a brand new mid-sized truck, I will say comparing it to the Tacoma or the Maverick from Ford, this thing is the way to go, and I wouldn't get any other truck outside of the Colorado Z71. And so with that, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. And I'll see you guys later. NTFTW signing off. See ya.